Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 474. We're up to the sequel to Mission Impossible. We're up to the Mission Impossible 2 from the year 2000. Again, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, this is episode 2 of our season 1 movies, TV shows that turn into movies. With that said, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate. So did you get to finally see this movie in the theater? Mission Impossible 2?
No. 3 was the first one I saw at the theater.
Okay.
Yes. So I saw this one. I don't even remember. I don't remember the first time I saw it. I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen it. And I think I did a Mission Impossible like watch through years ago. And I saw it then. But this one was one that's like, I think I've seen this the least. I think this might have been only my second time watching it. So no, I didn't see this at theater. I was 13 in 2000. I didn't really care for Mission Impossible. Like, what is that? Mission Impossible? I don't, I want to go see something else. So yeah, this was like a second time watch for me. It was fun.
I will say this, when it comes to Mission Impossible 2, I did not get to see this in the theater. This is another movie I got to see on physical media. And I'm not ranking. I mean, we're not ranking in this series. We never do that in the AMG. Sometimes we give it at the end of the movie. We give our little quick rankings. But I would say with this one, I always felt was the weakest and the different of all of them. Like, it felt totally different. And I'm going to explain why when we break it down. But I felt like it's totally different from part 1.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
And then when it goes to part 3, 4, 5, it's totally like, it's just a different film. Like, you can see different directors on it. And did it work? I don't think it worked. And I still, even rewatching it, I will say, I was just like, what am I watching? Like, that's how I felt watching this movie. Because the first movie we had Brian De Palma, felt like a TV show, me and you said, like a murder mystery like style. Yeah, very suspense. Then we got John Woo coming to this one, legendary action director.
God, as far as
you got
go,
Face Off. You got the Hard Boiled,
Broken Arrow.
Yes,
Hard Target. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Paycheck,
which I haven't seen. Everyone keeps telling me we have to do it because everyone keeps telling me you're gonna like that movie, and I'm like, really? I was like, okay,
we're gonna do Paycheck.
But I felt like even like back then watching it, I'm gonna be honest with you. Back then, I did not like this movie. I don't know if it changed me hitting 43 now. Did it change? We're going to talk about it. I'm going to break it down. But back then, if you would have told me, I was like, hell no, this movie is just not. You know what
this movie was to me until I watched it? The MTV Movie Awards sketch where Ben Stiller was Tom Cruise's stunt double, where they did that like fake, and he had long hair, and they're both sitting in the chair and they're laughing.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of this movie until I watched it. That's my only connection to it was Ben Stiller pretending to be Tom Cruise and then Tom Cruise being a good sport and like actually participating in the sketch.
He always does. I will give him credit. Like, he always, like, he is a funny guy. Like, people don't understand. He is funny. Yeah. But you're right. That segment was kind of funny. He goes, we even finished each other's sentences. And then he said it at the same time. And
they said each other wearing the sunglasses. Like it was, dude, that's my knowledge of this movie till I watched it.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, let's get right into this one. All right, so let's get to the critics and audience and what the Rotten Tomato scores are. I'll give you the quick box office right after, and then we go right into the review. So what did the critics and audience say about this
one? Mission Impossible 2, the year 2000. This might be the most 2000 movie that exists. This took a 9% drop from the first movie. With the critics, it's a 58%. So it is not fresh. 58%. The first movie, of course, a 67%. And then with the audience, it took a huge drop. 29% drop from the first movie. That had a 71% audience score. This has a 42. So I think, and I have not looked ahead, but I'm going to guess that this is the lowest rated. It might be both. I think it might be the lowest rated critics and audiences in the franchise. 58 and 42.
All right. I will say it's very well. With sequels, you see those numbers drop, depending if it's good or not. If it's good, it will drop. If it's not, it's high. Because I mean, we always say it, and this is the only franchise, well, two, the Planet of the Apes, where each one just kept going up, and the Bourne movies went up and then stood steady like throughout. This movie has the sequel-itis where it drops.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about why. Because I bet
58's not horrible, but it's a drop. But I'm pretty sure, again, I've not checked. I bet 3's higher.
I bet it is, right? Because that's J.J. Abrams directs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And I bet 4 is higher, and I bet 5 is higher. And I think they go up until the last 2. I have no idea.
All right. So budget-wise, check this out. The first film, 1996, got an $80 million budget. It finished with a worldwide of $457 million. Right? Very good. You're like, oh, man, that's pretty good, Al. Budget-wise, John Woo, $125 million. So they're banking John Woo, Tom Cruise, Doves.
Hit.
Never know. Worldwide, $546 million. Now, granted, it did make a little bit more than the first one. I mean, it went by like a couple, like 30.
It make? 5 what?
It made 546.
So it made about 90 million more.
Yeah,
but
then
the
first
budget was 40 million more. You know what? It's almost equal, honestly. It's like almost equal as far as the profits. Probably a little less.
But this is where I say it did pretty good. Domestic in the first film from 96 was 180 million. Remember, we were like, wow, that's kind of low. International is kind of high. For part 2, 215 million. So it did up. People were invested. They were like, wait a minute, Tom Cruise, John Woo. All right.
Yeah, I like that first movie. Let's go check this out.
Let's go check his summer box office blockbuster, right? Mm-hmm. So it kind of worked. International, 276. International, 330. It went up. So at the end of the day, the sequel was successful in terms of the territories. Yeah. The domestic, international, it went up. Worldwide, it went up. Budget went up, but at the end of the day, kind of broke even, but they got more money.
I also think this one did really good on DVD. If I remember correctly, everyone had Mission Impossible 2 on DVD. So I bet the home video they still matter, but I bet when they really mattered, I think this one made a ton for Paramount, honestly.
Well, you know what?
It was successful.
It's time to become surgeons and dissect this action movie. All right, so it's time for us to get into the action OR and break down Mission Impossible 2. Now, we're going to start it off with the lead characters. Now, this is when it starts to do the TV show style. They bring in new agents, mix it in with Ethan Hunt. Now, one thing I did not know, Nate, they had Anthony Hopkins. I totally forgot that he was in this.
I remember that. I did remember that because he's in 2 scenes.
Yeah. I got to say, he fit the world, that espionage world. Because I think in the way his speech pattern is, I like it. But anyway, Anthony Hopkins is in this, okay? You got Luther, Vin Rames, the only character that survives 8 films. So he's in it, right? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and then you got the
other new guy who's only in this movie.
His name?
He's like Scottish.
Oh, Willis.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Played by William Metaphor. Sure. So... All right, so you got the new team, new director, which is Anthony Hopkins, Ethan Hunt. Yep. What did you think of the main characters?
Okay. I gave Ethan Hunt a 4 in the first movie, just for reference.
Yes, you did.
Okay. All right. Love Ving Rhames. I'm glad he had more to do. He had a little more to do in this movie. Love Ving Rhames, no problem. 5 out of 5. Ving Rhames. Always a 5 out of 5. I always love him and everything. But I'm not just scoring him. The other new guy. Who is that guy? He's not in the first movie. He's not in any of the sequels.
Yeah.
And to me, I won't say he's useless. He does what he's supposed to do in the movie. But he's so unmemorable, bro. I don't even remember this guy. I know this is only my second time watching it. But the first time watching it wasn't that long ago. And I don't remember him. And guess what? When we get to 3 and 4, I'll forget him again. He is just there. He drives the limo. He drives the helicopter. He's just happy to be there. He even says there's a joke where he's like, I'm just happy to be working with you guys. You guys are awesome. That's all he does. He's not. Emilio Estevez was more memorable in his 5 minutes of screen time in the first movie than this guy is in this movie. So he's useless. I agree with you. Anthony Hopkins was a great choice, especially in 2000. He was still he was old, but he was younger. He has presence. He works as a director, as a leader, someone who's in charge of stuff. Anthony Hopkins works. I'm surprised they didn't use him in any of the sequels, to be honest. Maybe they just couldn't afford him, or they were like, you know what, we could just keep, because they kind of swapped that role out. It's always someone different, in the rest of the movie. So, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with it, but I thought he was good. Ethan Hunt. We got a new love interest too, Tandy Newton. Gorgeous, by the way. I mean, gorgeous. In this movie, John Woo, she knew how to shoot her. He looks like she looks great every time she's on screen. I'm like, this lady's pretty, and I've seen her in a million movies, but she looks. I don't think she's ever looked better on screen than Mission Impossible 2. I'm not even lying, but I don't get it. I gave him a 3 in this movie. He went down. They tried to make him James Bond instead of keeping him as Ethan Hunt. Because what is he banging this lady? Okay, Anthony Hopkins' character tells him, hey, you need to recruit. You could pick your team, but you have to have this lady on the team. She's like a thief or whatever. You have to get her on the team. You have to convince her to join the team. And how does he do that? By flirting with her, sleeping with her, and they're like in love. They've been one night together, in love. And it just didn't it didn't ring true through the rest of the movie to me that like they're so crazy about each other. They've known each other for 24 hours. And this is a movie trope, but it's one that I never really like. I don't think it really works. And I don't think it works here. He's not James Bond. He's not like the guy who's banging the chicks and doing, and to me, that element actually lowered him down because I felt like that's not something that the character in the first movie, and it definitely is not what he does in the rest of the series. Like, I know the rest of these movies more than this one. There are women in them, but it's never this. This is the only movie that's like this. And I kind of didn't like it that much in that regard. Other than that, he's still great in the action scenes. I still like him with the team. I think Tom Cruise is good it's not a performance thing. I didn't like that character trait. And I thought it didn't fit, so I gave him a 3.
It's funny because I think me and you in the main character department, we're there. I felt like he went back down because I totally felt the James Bond vibe. Like, I totally felt it. And I was just like, this is so... and it's hard because one thing you did say, and I don't know if it was like a few episodes back when we did it consistently, we were coming back to doing it again. You talked about how when we do movie reviews that are like 10 films in, it's so hard to block this sequel because you know how he is in the other 8. And I'm not saying there's 8-10 mission part. I'm just hypothetical. I'm just saying, yeah, there is. But what I mean is like, so like me thinking of those and seeing him here, it's just he's totally different from the first movie to this movie. I mean, just granted. Now, he does look cooler with the long hair. I'm not going to lie. His long hair, I was like, yeah, it does. I was like, okay, he actually looks pretty cool with the long hair, not the traditional tropey cut, clean look like James Bond look. Like James Bond never had long hair. But I like him that they gave him like his own like come to work casual look.
Yeah. He looks like for Oakley's sunglasses ad.
Exactly. That's exactly what it looks like. So I was just like, you know what? He looks like an everyday man doing spy shit. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. But you're right. It does feel like a 007 movie with that character. And I was just like, it kind of sucked. For me, it kind of sucked because it took me out. I felt like Tom Cruise in this movie was way over the top. I'm going to get you in 19 hours. Stay alive. And then he throws the thing. Yes. And then he throws the bomb. And then he jumps out. Yeah.
He does a flip. I can't wait to talk about that.
So, like, for me, I felt he was very way over. Like, he didn't capture the essence of Ethan yet. Like, he didn't feel comfortable yet with the role. Yeah. Because I felt like he was way over the top in a lot of scenes. Like, when he's talking or they're talking to him and he's doing certain facial things. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm watching Nicolas Cage on screen. Like, I'm not saying he is Nicolas Cage. What I'm just saying is like, I just felt that cheesiness of that character. And I'm like, it didn't work for me. I was like, this is not, I like the Ethan, the mystery version of the first than this one. But it is what it is. Luther, I liked him. I agree with you. He had more to do, and he was kind of cool. He was like, oh, hell no, when he put the launcher on and he started shooting. I thought that was really cool. Wallace, I thought he was okay, the goofball of the group.
He's just unmemorable.
You know, that character is a trope for 2000 because wasn't Tomb Raider the same shit with the two guys and her?
Yeah, there's always the one British guy who's like...
The British, yeah, he's like the goofy guy. He did some funny stuff in the movie, but I agree, very unmemorable. There's a lot of characters we are going to talk about throughout this franchise that's so unmemorable we're never going to see again. And I agree with you. I think for me personally, I wish they just kept the team together because it would be cool for them to grow. They kind of learned that down the line, but I agree. Anthony Hopkins is my man. I kind of liked him, and especially when he grills him, he's like, when he tells him, Ethan, he's like, He's like, this is not called Mission Possible. It's called Mission Impossible. If it was possible, then I would not send you in to go do the job.
Good line. It's not called Mission Difficult or whatever.
Yes.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I liked it because the way he present, like, I don't know. I think Anthony Hopkins, I don't know why they never put him in more spy genre type movies, because he reminded me of the Judi Dench of actors. Like, I don't know. I felt like she was amazing.
Male Judi Dench.
For Mission Impossible. Like, I agree with you. He should have stood in until he got killed and then Alec Baldwin replaced him. Because Alec Baldwin, we're going to talk about it too, but I think he should have been, for the first 3, 4, whatever they want to do, should have been Anthony Hopkins. He was so good. He was very diabolical. Like, when he tells it, like, he scolded him, I felt it like my dad was scolding me. I was just like, yeah, you're right. So with that said, I gave it a 3 for Ethan. I felt like Ethan Hunt just I didn't jive with him in this one at all. Dimitri. I didn't jive with that one. Okay. I think I know where you're going to go with this one, but main villain on this one is when you think of him and you close your eyes, you feel like you think Gerard Butler's talking, but it's not.
Dougray Scott is the actor.
Dougray Scott. He is Shane Ambrose.
Shane Ambrose.
Yeah.
And then his partner, Richard Roxburgh or something like that, the blonde guy.
His name is Hugh Stamp. Hugh Stamp.
All right. So I see these two actors. I know Dougray Scott was supposed to be Wolverine. That was the big thing. Oof. He was originally cast as Wolverine, and he took this movie, and then Hugh Jackman got Wolverine instead. Big mistake by that guy. Not that, I'm sure he made money on this movie and it was a hit, but talking job security for 20 years. If he,
what's crazy, Wolverine. Nate, as an actor, wouldn't you know who Wolverine, like, or a big comic character, like, wouldn't you?
But remember, it was like they were not always hits at this point,
right? But wouldn't you know that you're playing a legendary character? Like, you get it. Like your son or what? Like, oh look, they gave me a role for Wolverine, and go, huh, Wolverine, and you're gonna say no.
You're gonna be Sean Ambrose, okay, Dad, do it.
Okay, Dad.
And then the other guy, as soon as I saw him on screen, I said,
Dracula.
This is freaking Dracula from Van
my boy Van Helsing.
Oh my gosh, I know who this idiot is. And he has a weird accent in this movie. I don't even know. I don't even know what country that is supposed to be from.
Transylvania.
I gave the first villain a 2 in the first movie because it was John Voight, mostly because he was old and off screen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one some credit in certain areas, and then I'll tell you what I think. At least this guy's on screen a lot. At least you follow him. He's in a lot of scenes. This movie is like fake GoldenEye, because not only do we got this guy pretending to be James Bond, this villain is also as an agent, and he worked with Ethan Hunt before. He doubled him. They're like, oh, he doubled you a couple times. What do you think about him? And he's like Sean Bean from GoldenEye, where it's like he's also an agent. He's gone rogue. He's turned bad. It's the same concept. This guy, he pretty much like intercepts this other mission, pretends to be Ethan Hunt, figures out that there's this biological weapon, and is gonna. It's worth the antidote or whatever is worth like 37 million pounds. British pounds, which I don't know, like $48 million or something, US. Anyway, it's a lot of money. He's like, I can get this money. We can do this. He has the partner, Hugh. That's the plan. It's not terrible. Is it the most exciting? Not really. That's my thing with this movie is this whole thing is based around like bioweapons, which could work, but it's more like pharmaceuticals. Because you got Brendan Gleeson in this. He's like the president of a pharmaceutical company. It'd be like, imagine if they kidnapped the guy from Johnson & Johnson. And they were like, we know you got this vaccine, and we want it. And there's a lot of uninteresting things. So when you were describing your, feelings about it, I was like, to me, this movie sticks out in that regard, in the plot. It's like, okay, sure. So do I like him? No. This guy he always looks like he's going to cry. He is like whiny the whole movie. He gets so mad when he pretends to be Ethan and he talks to Tandy Newton, and then she goes and he takes off too many masks, by the way. This movie has they overdo the mask thing. It's I love that Mission Impossible. That's like their thing, the mask. It's cool you do it one time per movie. It's not cool when you do it 11 times in one movie. He takes off the mask and he looks like he's going to cry. He's so mad. He's like, oh, she likes Ethan Hunt. And even when his partner is telling him, he's like, are you sure that this girl should even be here? He's like, I know what I want. I like her. And he cuts off the tip of his finger with his little cigar thing. And, you know, I don't know. I feel like Hugh got the better end. They do fight. I will say, Sean Ambrose and Ethan Hunt, AMG staple. Does the villain fight the hero? Yes. They have a hand-to-hand fight. Cool. It's shot kind of weird. He's got like slow motion karate kicks and stuff like that. Not the best fight, but he does. And I like the motorcycle scene. So I will give him credit for that, unlike the first movie. But I can't go above a 2. It's still a 2 for me. It's not a 1. I do think he might be the worst villain in this franchise. But there's enough there for me to give him the 2. Because he does stuff. He fights the hero. He has some action scenes. He has a plan. Do I think the plan's great? No. But it exists. And it's not take over the world, which, is like the most traditional, we're going to blow up everything. It's not that. He's just trying to get rich off some chemicals. So it's still weak, though. It's a 2.
I agree. Before I give my score, because, it is a 2. I agree. It is a 2. I don't like this dude at all. I don't like him at all. I felt like the villain, when it comes to the villain, he is so one-dimensional. He's just a generic villain. Nothing new changes with this guy. You're right. He's an ex. Okay, great. Who cares? There's so many other films that did this storyline 10 times better. Whiny ain't the word, bro. He reminded me of Anakin. I was like, oh my God, we got another Anakin on screen. Every time we talk about whiny people, we always say Anakin because he's just the number
King
one.
Of the whiners.
Yeah, he is. And you're right. He's a whiner. I did enjoy more Hugh's character, but at the end of the day, it's like, did he complete his goal? No. He almost did. I don't know. At the end, I feel like the ending, I see more the villain, right? He puts the gun on the guy. You're going to give me 51% of your company. The guy's like, no, and he takes the gun out to transfer the money. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It's a typical crap. I don't know. I didn't like him much. You're right. As a Bond villain, he felt like a Bond villain. It reminded me of The World's Not Enough Bond villain. The guy who had the bullet in his head reminded me of him, but that guy was 10 times better. Yeah. He reminded me of Salza, which is not Salza.
Salazar?
Salazar, Skyfall? Yeah. Skyfall, yeah, which is my man Harriet Bardem's character. Just like that character, he was another agent, and he got caught. He hates him. He wants to chase him. Then, of course, Sean Bean's character, 006. And then I'm just like, bro, it's just the same characters, but look, those movies, same thing, but told 10 times better.
yeah, he's 006 way better.
Yeah, 006 is way better. Saul's is 10 times better. Freaking, the guy from World's Not Enough, 10 times better. I don't know. This movie just fell flat. I just felt like they had no chemistry from villain to hero on screen. Honestly, I can't speak more because it just pisses me off because I'm like, now hearing that he was going to be Wolverine, how horrible Wolverine would have been. That's what pisses me off. Wolverine would have been destroyed.
And look at their career after, right? Because both movies came out in 2000. So look at Hugh Jackman in 2026 and where's Dougray? I don't even know what Dougray Scott is doing.
I know he was the father of Batgirl. Batwoman on TV. Yeah, so he's doing TV or whatever, straight to DVDs. But yeah, I give it a 2. I think I just say lack of direction with the villain, lack of innovative, I guess you want to say. Now, plot, sure. He had a mastermind. He got what he had to do. I agree with you.
Enough.
Not threatening. That's plot. But yeah, not threatening, not menacing. I think it was kind of weak that it was just Ethan Hunt versus this instead of IMF world versus this guy. I think it would have been better for that character instead of making it a vendetta love interest triangle fight for this girl, which I was like, whatever. Now, one thing it did prove me right is that she could have been an awesome Catwoman. I think she would have been an awesome Catwoman. Yes. Yeah. She would have been in the Ethan Kent version or whatever. Aretha Kent?
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt version of Catwoman. But anyway, with that said, 2 across the board here. This is where I want to hear because I was really like, what the hell? action sequences, because this is where we are built the foundation of this podcast. So what is the action sequence?
This is what inspired all 480 million episodes we've done. Action.
474.
That's the amount. 474. Action scenes. Okay, look. We've done John Woo before. Not a bunch. I think Hard Target. I don't even know. And Face Off. I think we've only done 2.
Yeah, those 2. This
might be our third. There will be more in the future, but we've done those 2. He has a distinct style. Okay? Some people love it. Some people think it might be just okay. Some people might not like it. I don't know. I'll say this. I like his style of action. This was an interesting movie. It's very over the top, which fits. Like, I thought it was hilarious in the beginning when he's doing the mountain climbing thing, and then the helicopter comes, and the guy's like, he's pointing, and then he shoots a rocket, and the rocket just has sunglasses in it. I'm like, there's no better way for you to get those sunglasses to him than a little missile. And then it's like, these will self-destruct, and he throws it, explodes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so stupid. Like, that was dumb. The plane crash in the beginning, not good. However, there's no action in this movie until I counted. I checked. 1 hour and 17 minutes into the movie is when you get your first action set piece. However, from then on, there's a lot of action. So John Woo is one of those guys. And I think if we look back, this is how his movies kind of work. All the action's in the third act. He is a story, whether the story's good or not, tells the story, works his way to it. It's a very old school style. I'm not opposed to it. I do think you should build. I think sometimes movies now blow their load early. You have this amazing action scene in the beginning, and then the rest of the movie's not good. Whereas traditional, will build towards it. So it's fine, but it does take a while. You will be like, where is the action for a while? I like the action though. I do. It is over the top. It's some cheesy stuff, but there's also some good stuff. I like the facility shootout. And I don't even like shootouts that much. You already know me. I'm not a big shootout guy. But it has the John Woo slow when he's sliding on the floor with the 2 guns. It's like Hard Boiled. He's sliding, shooting. I like the way it looks. I like the spark. That scene where he's running down that hallway and it's like the sparks are going off. It looks great. I do think it's hilarious when he does that flip when he jumps out of the window. Why? Not a window. He makes a hole with a bomb.
Yeah.
Why the flip? It does not. Just jump out and pull your parachute. He does a flip. And then he pulls the parachute. That was kind of silly. But I like that sequence. I think it's strong. It's very John Woo. That's the most John Woo sequence to me. And then at the end, when there's birds, he always has birds in his movies flying in slow motion. For some reason, this time it was pigeons. It wasn't even doves. It was pigeons, slow motion. And then you have that big finale scene. Again, there's shootout, but that one's one where you put hand to hand in the movie, which, I'm better that than just all guns. Right. Tom Cruise gets to do some crazy kicks. My man is doing I don't know if Charlie's Angels made fun of this movie, but it had to. With the running backflip. When he does that running freaking Sonic Boom kick from a flash kick from Guile. Yeah. Or when he does that flipping Hogan leg drop on that guy. Yes, it's over the top. Did it make me smile? Yes. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you know what? I kind of like that. And I like the motorcycle scene. Except for the part where Tom Cruise does that jump and you could tell the motorcycle's on wires because of the way it lands. Other than that, it's cool. I think it worked. I like the dueling motorcycle stuff. Yes, it's over the top. Yes, it's pretty cheesy, but you know what? I gave it a 4. I thought it was good. Once it comes, I think it's really good. It just takes a while to get there. But there's style. I like style. And at least this movie feels like the director. Right? I'll put it this way, and then I'll let you go. The first movie feels like a Brian De Palma movie, and this feels like a John Woo movie. And I don't think any of the rest, you could be like, oh, that's this director. And these first 2 you can. So I kind of respect it for that as well. So I gave it a 4, but I could see someone giving this a 2, even as low as a 2, because it's cheesy.
Okay, so I am giving it a 4. Okay. And it's funny because when I reviewed The Killers and Hard Boil, those movies, especially I think is The Killer. That one is from beginning action and then story and then action. And then the other one, I think Hard Boil graduates.
Hard Boil's builds up.
Yeah,
it
starts to build up.
It becomes an extravaganza.
They blow their wad in bullets and everything. So I agree with you on that. I am not, and I know people most likely I'm gonna get hate on the comments. I am not a big John Woo fan. I like his movies.
Sure.
I feel some of his movies are the same. It's same like storyline, just changing character names and all that. That's just me. But I am not big on it because I feel like it's nothing. I feel like they all look the same. Like if I put The Killer and I put Hard Boiled, and then you look at the sequences, they kind of look the same sequence with John Woo doing his stuff.
Style. Yeah.
That is his style. No, I get it. But I do know that, I mean, for me, it just feels repetitive. But again, I'm not going to take it away from him because that's what made him famous. And I'm okay with it. This one, I feel like he tried to do something new. United States, he didn't want to, you know what I mean? Because it does, certain things does look kind of his old stuff, but it looked like he went to try to elevate his style more because this is Hollywood version now. Yeah. This is not Korean style or Chinese style of filmmaking. So I think he was trying to fuse both. Yeah. You know what I mean? Did it work? I think it worked at times. I thought it worked at times. I think Tom Cruise was the action star for him in terms because back then, I don't know. It looked like he did his own stunts when he's riding motorcycles.
That motorcycle. Yeah, I think he's been doing that his whole career. Like he's doing it.
Yeah, I think he just elevated it more older. They started to show more. But I think Tom Cruise did make his style work very well. I don't think if it's in the hands of another actor that uses doubles, I don't think it would work. Maybe. I don't know. It could be me. I did like certain scenes. I did like the facility scene. I thought that was really cool. But then it kind of got boring to, you know, when he's like hiding behind stuff and they talking. And I was like, I did like, my only thing, there's one part that I really was like, this is so dumb. It's when he throws the pipe bomb and it hits the door, right? Like someone knocked. It went, like someone, right? It's not like someone knocked on the door. So I was just like, okay. And all of a sudden he shoots it. And all of a sudden that one bird flies in. And then you see the slow motion Ethan Hunt. And then you see it from his eyes, the flame. And I was like, oh, brother. I was just like, come on. Like, just certain things just took me out. And I was just like, that was one. The fight sequences hand to hand was okay. I don't like the one at the end when he fights the main dude. Guy? Yeah. Did not like that fight. That fight, I did not like. It could be one of the worst fights in the series. Like, it could be one of the first. Like, honestly, I might have to say it might be the worst fight between hero and villain in the series.
I don't think it's great, but at least they tried something different. Hand to hand.
I think so, but I just did not jive with me.
It's not. The one is better. The earlier ones are better. Like the Henchman and the Dracula.
Yeah, Hugh versus I thought that was a better fight. Main villain versus him I did not like it in the sand. I was just like, this is not cool. I was just like, this is, at the end, I just felt like it had great action set pieces. I do like when they do fast chase scenes. I like the motorcycle scene. I thought that, like, again, John Woo is really good at capturing those things. And I was like, this is cool. The bridge scene was dope. The dude is shooting the rockets, it blows up, and Ethan Hunt just drives through the flames. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, this is actually really good. And then when he goes motorcycle to motorcycle, did not jive with me. I said, oh, no.
When they go.
Yes. I said, and then they fall like 20 stories together onto the, first of all, I would have been done hitting the floor. I would have been like, we're not fighting after this. Like, no. But they literally fall long. And it's funny because like he did it so like, at the same time the bikes crash, they hit the floor in slow motion. It was like this imagery of boom. I was just like, okay. At the end of the day, in terms of action, yes, it has it. I think it's great action. You said it the best. Very cheesy 2000 action.
Super.
But at the end of the day, it did what it had to do. It's just not my favorite style.
Put it this way. Someone younger who's just getting into the new Mission Impossibles goes back and watches this, I don't think they'll like it that much.
No.
But if you were there,
think it's garbage.
If you grew up watching these kind of movies, it works better.
And the Limp Bizkit theme song is the best one out of all of them. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was going to save that for overall, but yeah, this movie has music that is almost more iconic than some of the other stuff in the movie.
I agree. I don't know why they didn't continue using that theme song because I'm like this. First of all, the theme song is very, like you said, iconic, very recognizable, and it does feel that generation, the 2000.
Yeah, it is very 2000.
it's very the Rock, and then they went to.
I was in middle school when this movie came out. Feels like a movie that came out when I was in middle school too.
No, it did feel like it. All right. Anyway, I gave it a 4. You gave it a 4. Storyline.
All right. We will spend the least amount of time here. I gave it a 2. I don't think it's that good. We kind of discussed it. We already talked about the. It's all about pharmaceuticals and chemical agents and a disease that kills you in 36 hours, and then they have the antidote or the what's it called, the vaccine for it.
Yeah, the vaccine.
And Ethan Hunt's essentially trying to destroy it, while this other guy's trying to get it so that he can make 39 million pounds. It's okay. Not really. It's not okay. It's not that good. It's pretty bad. It's the worst in the franchise. I could say that confidently. It feels the least Mission Impossible. I don't know why they needed IMF to stop this. I feel like you could have just got some like CIA guys or something, or FBI. I don't know. Like other people, I feel like could have stopped this, but whatever. And then I don't really love the love interest like angle. I'm not opposed to love interests in movies. Obviously there will be another one. I mean, the next movie he has like someone, and that feels more organic and normal than this. This feels so forced. So I gave it a 2. I think it's pretty weak.
I ain't gonna stay long on this one. I agree with everything you said. I gave this a 1. Yeah. I thought this storyline is garbage. I thought her shooting herself with the disease, and then she has 19 hours to get the antidote in her. Yeah. So she don't die. I thought it was a horrible thing. I think it would have worked better if the storyline was enforced. You're right. I did not like the villain. The villain was horrible. It did not work for me. The action, while it was great, just felt like I felt it was more action than story, which is weird to say. But then they try to make it feel like it's a more story. But I don't know. It just did not jive with me, the action and story together in this one. The only positive light in this storyline is Anthony Hopkins. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's the only positive force of this entire film. So I agree with you. I gave it a 1. You gave it a 2 overall.
All right. Well, you know what? This is going to be the first time in a while. So overall, there's a few things that I like. Again, I like that this is a John Woo movie and feels like a John Woo movie. I like movies with a distinct style. I'm not a huge fan of movies that seem like anyone could have done it. You know what I mean? And yes, there are later movies here that I'll take back what I said a little bit. But like Christopher McQuarrie, for example, he directed like the last 3 or 4 of these things. Yeah. Before those movies, he did not have. You couldn't tell me what is a Christopher McQuarrie movie. He has now created that style within this franchise, so it kind of works. But I just like that it's like, yes, this is a John Woo movie. This one has the best music. Now, not the best score, because the score is very 2000s, like action movie. There's like some techno sounding music and but the use of the Mission Impossible theme, this is my favorite one with the guitar. Like it is cool. I like it. And I remember this soundtrack was a big deal in 2000. Like the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack was like selling like crazy. So I like that. I think Tom Cruise is good in it. It is very 2000. It has a terrible story. It has terrible villains. But guess what? I don't know what's the last movie I did this to, but I'm giving this the stamp. I think it's watchable crap. I don't think it's very good, but I did not hate watching it. I could watch this again. If I do another, in 10 years, like a franchise watch, this will be easy. It's not even a difficult watch. It's like, it's not good, but I have fun when I watch it. So I'm giving it a 3. But I'm sticking it with the Nate seal of watchable crap, like The Mummy Returns and a couple other movies. Like, I don't think they're good, but I'll pop them in. I'll pop it in. I don't hate it. I think it's the worst Mission Impossible movie, but I can watch it.
Well, I did not like this movie at all. I gave this a 2. I don't even think it's watchable crap. This movie's horrible. This is a horrible movie. I was bored. I hated it. There's so many essence in this film that felt so freaking artsy fartsy, and I was like, this is not an artsy fartsy film with the crashing of the waves when they're fighting, and I'm like, this is so stupid. The birds coming in and you see the flames in his eyes, so artsy fartsy. When they crash cars and is spinning out 3,000 miles an hour and they looking at each other slow motion, artsy fartsy. I just did not like this movie. I didn't like the direction of this movie. I didn't like the artsy fartsy. I just felt like it's just a stupid, horrible Mission Impossible movie. And I agree. This has to be The worst one out of all of them. It hands down. And the worst Ethan Hunt version that possibly can. While looking cool. While looking cool.
I agree with you on both
looking.
of those. Except that other part. I liked all that. All that stuff you just said is why I kind of like it.
You like the artsy
I like the
fartsy?
pigeons. I like the slow motion pigeons flapping their wings. He comes running around the corner and the guy's like looks and there's birds. It's dumb, but I worked for me.
Well, it didn't work for me. So I gave it a 2. Yeah, I just didn't jive with it on this time. Fair. Okay, with that said, total points, Nate.
I got a 14 out of a 25.
Oh, I got a 12 out of a 25. So 2 points less.
I mean, we've done worse. We've done worse. We will do worse in the future. But yeah, this is definitely, I agree. I think it's the weakest Mission Impossible movie. It feels like the redheaded stepchild of this franchise. And you said one thing, and I'll say this to wrap up my thoughts. You said that it doesn't feel like the other ones, like the rest that are going to come. And I agree. I don't think it feels like any of the other ones, to be honest. But neither does one. One feels different than the other ones as well. But this does start the trend of this being an action franchise as opposed to because the first one feels like a spy movie, right? And if they kept on that, it would not be an action. This one is what right away turns it into, these are action movies from now on. So at least it gets credit for that, because if they don't go in this direction here, who knows what the rest of the franchise looks like. This did push it in that direction. Still feels different, but it is the beginning of it being an action franchise as opposed to a spy, like thriller franchise.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm not going to elaborate on 3 because once we get to 3, we'll talk about it. Yeah. But I do agree with you on that. Each film, which while it has its merits and not, each director does their stamp and their style, which I'm okay with. I'm fine with it. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. But at least they had the opportunity to stamp their version of their style into it. Sometimes we do a lot of movies that you got someone's style, like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Alfred Hitchcock does an action movie. They don't allow him to do Alfred Hitchcock stuff in the movie. They have to do it the way the studio wants you to do their version of the film. So with that said, I'll give MI6, the Mission Impossible franchise, their kudos for allowing directors to put their style into it. Because sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And we're going to talk about it starting from 3 on up. But there's sometimes with 007, I don't think they allowed the directors to do their own stuff because they had final approval and final say of the entire movie. And that's the reason Steven Spielberg never got to do 007, which he always wanted to, is because they were like, we want final say. You don't. So
yeah, I think they allow it to a point. I think a good example would be Marvel. No director, no matter who directs it, they all feel like Marvel. You know what I mean? There is no distinct. I think Ryan Coogler came the closest with the Black Panther movies to like injecting his style, and maybe Favreau with Iron Man. But
I will say the earlier work.
Yeah,
I will say the earlier work.
The first 4.
Yes, I think Captain America 1. I think
Joe Johnston.
Thor
did Thor.
Let me just tell you something. I just finished watching Thor. That one was fun to watch, and it totally felt like a different movie from Captain America. Like, you're right. Once after phase 1, it became the same style going down the line.
It's like the same guy could have directed all those movies. You wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I agree. with that. Yeah. And it was a shame because I did kind of like the Thor version of how that one was and how Captain America felt kind of agey because he's old.
It's also a shame because they hired a lot of good directors to do them and they just wouldn't let them do what they want.
That sucks. But anyway, with that said, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
All right. So next episode will, of course, be the 3rd Mission Impossible movie titled Mission Impossible 3. The first 3 have normal titles. After that, we start going subtitles. So this one is Mission Impossible 2. Next is Mission Impossible 3, directed by J.J. Abrams. Again, changing directors. I believe it was 05 or 06, one of them. So a couple years later, there's a little bit of a gap between all these movies, which 06? Okay. So 6-year gap, 4-year gap between this one and the first one. I kind of like that there's a gap that's not like 10 or 20 years, but it's enough where the character looks a little older, things are a little different. I do like that this franchise took the time to, kind of space them out, but not too much, so you forget about it. So yeah, we're going to do Mission Impossible 3, the first one I ever saw at the theater. So I remember loving it. I haven't seen it in a while, but we will see how this one goes.
All right, guys, there you guys have it. You guys are following us on the go. You guys can listen to the podcast on any podcast platforms. It's Action Movie Guys Podcast. We're available everywhere. You guys can listen to it on the go. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button, leave comments on your favorite scenes, what you thought about the film, going forward in the franchise. You guys can leave it all there. We'll comment back. Again, you guys are listening to us. We do have a video version of the podcast. You guys can go to youtube.com/geeksandflicks and you can find the episode right there. It will be season 1, movies turn to TV. I mean, TV shows turn to movies. That's season 1. We're going to have like 16 episodes. This is the second one out of the 16. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to have fun with that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking it out. Be awesome to each other and geek out.